Hello, hello. You're watching Trending with the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Ashley Northington, the agency director and founder of DENOR Grants and Public Relations, and I'm here on behalf of the Tennessee Tribune with candidates for the District 1 race for the Metro City Council. We're here to learn more about the candidates running for office so that you can learn more about the issues that matter to you most. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves and tell us why you're running for office. Go ahead.
Okay, I am Gwen Brown-Felder, Dr. Gwen Brown-Felder, and I am running for office because I feel as a servant leader, the representation for our district should be one that has passion, love for our community, well educated, have the time and the talent to be there and assure our district that they have the right representation. So with education, experience, servant leadership, members of different boards in the community, and we can go to the website and see the rest of that resume. But just assured that I will be an advocate for us in our community.
Love that. I love that. I love that she said we can go to the website and get the rest of the details. I love that. What's your website?
www.electgwenbrownfelder District 1.
Love it. Dr. Cummings.
Thank you. I'm Reverend Dr. Judy Cummings, and I am candidate for Council Member District 1. Lived in the district for almost 40 years. My husband and I are invested in the district. We raised our family in the district. Our children were educated in the district, and we are well invested in the district. I have been working in the district for over 25 years on various issues, and I feel that I am the best candidate for District 1, that I can represent the district, that I am the candidate that is honest, hardworking, and has integrity. Our district has been without representation up until just recently, with Nick being appointed as judge. But we in District 1 need and deserve a voice that will speak for the entire district, and someone who is able to bring the district together. I am a trained community organizer, and I have the experience to be able to do that.
I love that. So, Dr. Cummings, tell me, if you were elected, what would be your top priorities for your district in the next, let's say, 12 months?
In the next 12 months, what District 1 is facing, District 1, number one, we're facing a lot of Metro Public Works plans, and so I'm meeting with them because District 1, as you all realize and know, has been that district that has been the most neglected.
Sure.
And so I've been working with Bike Walk Nashville to make sure that we're getting sidewalks. Also, I've been working really closely with TDOT with the widening of Clarksville Highway to make sure that when the widening happens, that is not as obstructive as it could be, and that we're still able to get to and support the various businesses up and down that corridor. I've also been working for the past, well, since 2008, but certainly for the past 3 years on issues of public transportation. You all know that in this new transit plan that Clarksville Highway is one of those rapid bus transit corridors, and I want to make sure that whatever the citizens vote for, that District 1 is going to be able to be represented and be able to get the benefits from it.
Love that. So, Dr. Brown-Felder, what would you say your priorities would be if you were elected?
Well, basically, my priority during my listening tour is concerned with education and the levels of our education of our children and the importance of that, and how to bring us up from being low man on the totem pole.
Sure.
And that's important to me. It's important to me for the infrastructure and the different drainage situations that we've had. And these are some of the things that some of the people from the community have given me. Because I made it sure and plain with great clarity that I really don't have a platform. My platform is the community's platform. So I'm continuing my listening tour. I have participated with the transit meetings and different issues on that. I am concerned in regards to the aesthetics of our community, the trash and everything that's going on. And looking at the plan for the transit, it doesn't look as inclusive for the Botto area of our District 1. And so I'm concerned about that. continue meeting and listening and getting an idea of what our community. And my slogan is United for the Love of District 1.
Okay.
Bringing those communities together, which have seemed to be a little bit disjointed, coming together and bringing a servant leader who has a passion for the community, as well as knowledge and insight on those issues.
Love it. Now, both of you all mentioned the transit, and everyone has been talking about it for the past several months. And of course, at this moment, we still don't know what's going to happen,
Right.
In May with that vote.
Mm-hmm.
And both of you all mentioned that, your Bordeaux and some other areas of District 1 may have been neglected or not as inclusive as other parts of the city. Dr. Cummings, can you talk with me a little bit about how you'll advocate on behalf of District 1 to make sure?
Absolutely, and I have been for the past 3 years. I served as co-chair of Route Modes and Network, and now chair Route Modes and Network. And the reason that I did that and put in all of those thousands of hours of volunteer work was to make sure that we were not left out. You know that historically transit has not been kind to communities of color. And certainly if you have lived here for any period of time, you know that when I-40 came through North Nashville, that they split the neighborhood. I was at the table 3 years ago when we started this conversation with the community to make sure that that was not going to happen again. What we will have in not just Bordeaux, because I'm not running for Bordeaux, I'm running for District 1, which is made up of Bellspin, White Creek, Scottsboro, Jolton, and Bordeaux.
Right.
I am at the table making sure that we are able to participate in it. So what will happen is the bus will run every 15 minutes because we are one of those corridors that has been identified for the bus to run every 15 minutes. The bus will begin running from 1:15 in the morning to 5:15 in the morning. Right now I'm representing people who work 2 and 3 jobs. Because the bus stops running at 11 o'clock, some of those persons are having to spend the night on their second job because they have no way home. If you know anything about child care, you know that if you're not at the daycare to pick your child up by 6 o'clock, you begin being charged $1 per minute. I have mothers who are paying $1 per minute. So I'm there advocating on behalf of the people to make sure that we're going to be able to participate in whatever it is that they determine. And it is the people who will vote. It is the people who will vote for the referendum on May 1st. If they vote for it, then we want to make sure that District 1 is going to benefit from it. District 1 will have light rail. Light rail will begin on Charlotte behind Spruce Street Baptist Church, and it'll come all the way over to Ted Rose Golf Course. Our universities, Tennessee State University, Fisk University, and Meharry University will have stops at each one of those universities. It is important that we have public transportation that's going to connect people to quality jobs, to quality education, and a quality way of life. Access Ride Plus. Right now, when you call for Access Ride Plus, you have to call 48 hours in advance to schedule it. I have people who go to my church who are in wheelchairs. They have to call on a Wednesday. They don't know how they're going to feel on that Sunday. But when they get the ride to church, if we're having any kind of activity after church, they can't stay because once that van comes, they have to get on it. If not, they have to depend on somebody to fold up their wheelchair, put it in the car, and take them back to their nursing homes. With the new plan, with Access Ride, they will be able to have the same privilege that you and I have when we pick up the phone or text it for Uber or for Lyft. They'll be able to get the ride on demand. So now, if I wake up in the morning and I'm a senior citizen, I'm not feeling well, I call my doctor's office and they say, well, we can see you at 3 o'clock. I don't have to call my daughter or my son to say, can you get off work early because the doctor said that they can see me. I can get my own stuff to the doctor. So that's why I'm for public transit. The system that is on the referendum certainly is not the best plan, and it is probably, and of course it could be better.
Sure.
And it is not going to solve traffic.
It's not.
It is not, but it is going to help, because if we do nothing and we continue to grow at the rate that we are, then I mean we're all stuck.
Right. What are your thoughts on this issue, Dr. Brown?
Well, my issue is there again a concern for District 1, and the rail and the extension of it does not go to Jolton or those areas that are majority in District 1.
Right.
So it's important for us to take a look at what $9 billion is going to bring to our community. And for District 1, not very much. And so I would see a plan such as that. If we vote on it and put it in, not many changes are going to take place after you are said, okay, you can do this. I'm saying vote against it, and the reason I'm saying that is because of the quote-unquote $9 billion and the fact that it doesn't bring much to District 1. And also the fact that we haven't expanded all that we can do with the bus system that we have right now. I worked under Maynard Jackson in Atlanta, Georgia, and before we got the transit. And before we got the transit there, we made sure that the buses were running 24/7. We made sure that the buses had as many routes possible that covered all the areas, very inclusive. We also began to look at the number of people, did statistics on our bus system before we went into the major transit. And that would be my recommendation. Let's look at this again. Let's expand what we have in our bus system and take it to the fullest, exhaust that, and then come back and look at, we can always put in $9 billion, but to have it where it doesn't extend to all the places and having to add that later and fight again to ensure that my district, District 1, which I am a council person, the best person for, I feel definitely that we should vote that down and come back to the table again and look at a better way that we can be more inclusive of all the districts.
I understand. Lots of diverse opinions here on that transit referendum issue. So I've heard a lot about public education. I've heard about transit and access and inclusivity. And, District 1 historically being a community that has been neglected and split and fractured in so many different ways. So based on you all's observations, what would you say the biggest challenge that's facing District 1, and then how will you work to resolve that challenge? Whether it's transit or education or some other issue. I'll start with you.
Well, the biggest challenge that I can see in any entity is education.
Okay.
And I'm a strong proponent to that because it's important that whether you're educated on the district issues, whether you're educated in the school system, whether you're educated in the workplace, education is fundamentally the thrust. Education is part of the reason for the high poverty rate that we have in our district.
Sure.
Education is primary reason that the voice and the advocacy for our portion, quote unquote, of the pie that we should receive. The district is the largest geographical district, and it seems that we get the least attention. Coming together as a district, including all of the areas, coming together, being an advocate. As I go through the district now, and I can't do anything by myself, but we can do everything together.
Sure.
So as coming together in our district, really looking at our educational issues on all entities, I think that's the beginning point. It's a never ending. It's always going to be something to do, always something to make better, always something to improve. But to begin with the education, I that would be my strongest suggestion.
What about you?
So I work closely with Dr. Joseph, meet with him quarterly regarding our education system and our failing schools and the data that shows that statistically students who are black and brown go to juvenile court more than others. So those are issues I've been working on for years. What I see as the top issue in District 1, District 1, as I said, is made up of 5 communities, 5 distinct communities who have 5 different visions for their own community. I've served on the Metro Planning Commission for 12 years. 95% of what a Metro Council member does is planning and zoning. I can hit the ground running day one. It's listening to those communities, understanding what their vision is for their community, and then helping to implement that vision. When you talk about rail lines going up to Jolton, I know that my community in Jolton does not want the rail lines in Jolton. So it's listening to what the community wants. And I think that that's probably what we have not had in District 1 is a representative who is willing to listen and then willing to implement the vision for that particular community. District 1 has been the community that has been dumped on and has gotten everything that nobody else wanted. Years ago, back in the 80s, I was working on the issues of the dump. Again, doing public service and working in District 1 is not new to me. As I said, I've been out there almost 40 years. And so it is a matter of bringing those districts together, listening to what the vision is for each one of those distinct communities, and then implementing their vision and representing them at the table and giving District 1 a powerful voice. And I believe that I am that powerful voice for District 1.
Okay, I love it. So you all, this is the last question that I'm going to ask you, and it's a tough one, okay? And so that question is, why should the voters of District 1 vote for you?
Well, first of all, I feel that I'm qualified, and I have been working in the community since I've gotten here in 2001. And not as long. I think if I had been working for 30 or 40 years, some things would have been accomplished by now. But I came here, began working and in the community, not for any self-aggrandizement or name, but just to ensure that our community has good representation and people here to advocate and help them see that united for the love of our district. And that means all of the venues, engaging them. I am qualified educationally, servant leadership for the over 20 plus years, and just the fact that I want to see the best. I'm not planning to run for any other office so far. God hadn't led me in that direction. And I stepped out because I was asked, because of the integrity, because of the trustworthiness, the honesty, being able to ask and be an advocate, and with a fresh new idea and concept. I haven't been ingrained with all of the political things going on, so my mindset is out of the box per se, that I'm not just framed by certain politics in Nashville. I bring a fresh new look and a love for the community, and willingness and time. I didn't choose to take hold of anything until I retired from AT&T. I'm a retired project manager with them and handled major projects, millions of dollars plus. And so we find innately, with all of that training plus the leadership and education that I have and the servant leadership, I feel I'm majorly qualified. I'm the one that can advocate best because I have the time, the talent, and some treasure. I can't say a lot to that, but to advocate for our District 1 and ensure that we get, quote unquote, our piece of the pie.
Okay, that sounds good. Dr. Cummings, why should we vote for you?
Thank you. And again, I am committed. I am dedicated. I have the integrity. I have the leadership skills and experience and the love for District 1. I am invested in District 1. I am not a politician. As I said at my kickoff, I am not a politician. But the work that I do, the thousands of hours, have all been volunteer work. I have never been paid a dime to do the work that I have done in the community that I love, in the community that I serve. I understand that it's District 1, but I also understand that as a Metro Council person, to be speaking for the entire Davidson County. And so with that in mind, understanding the issues, being involved in the issues, and being able to speak to those issues, I believe is an important trait, and I certainly have that and have been able to do that and have been successful at doing that and have been successful at getting District 1 some of the things that we need and that we deserve. I am the strongest voice for District 1. It is time for District 1 to have a representative who can articulate the vision and the needs of District 1 and to make things happen. And I'm certainly that person that can make things happen.
I love it. Well, Trending with Tennessee Tribune, you have two fabulous candidates for District 1. Where can people find out more about you? I want you to state your website or your social media channel so that people can learn more about your platforms and the issues that you're running on.
Our website is www.elect Gwen Brown-Felder District 1. Mm-hmm. You can call 615-500-3122.
Okay.
And we'll love to entertain that time and get with you and really represent District 1 to the best of our ability.
Okay.
Thank you again for hosting and having us here today. You can reach me at our website, Judy Cummings, the number 4, district, the number 1.com.
Yeah.
Also our Facebook page, Judy Cummings, the number 4, D1. We're on Twitter. All of that is Judy Cummings, the number 4, D1. You can reach us at 615-480-6530 or at our headquarters. And again, I'm delighted and thank you so much for inviting me to the table.
Thank you all for coming today. I
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
Ashley.
it.
We appreciate the interview.
Thanks. That's all for Trending with Tennessee Tribune.